There's been a lot of controversy surrounding the question of who will be the first openly gay superhero in the MCU.
Welcome to Comic Power. I'm your host, Comic Killer 72.
Welcome to a special report about LBGT representation in the MCU.
Please subscribe to this channel. Be sure to click on the notification bell as well. It will let you know when a new video is posted in the future. Alright, now let's get right into it.
The question isn't if there will be alternative lifestyle superheroes in the MCU. The question is when and how soon. The Russo brothers are the directors of the Avengers movies, and they have stated that this is going to happen. Although not a superhero, the first openly gay character in the MCU was introduced in the group therapy scene in Endgame, played by one of the Russo brothers himself. The character refers to his love interest as he. A lot of people missed out on that scene, and they really didn't catch that. So that was the first openly gay character, but we haven't had an openly gay superhero yet. But the chances of getting one in the MCU in the future are 100%. So we're going to explore, will it be an existing character that comes out as LBGT, or will it be a new character that's introduced in the MCU in the future? We're going to look at both, but first, a little disclosure. I am an African-American male heterosexual who's married to an African-American female heterosexual. And my belief is that whoever consenting adults choose to love is their own business. I do not believe that Disney or any other company is trying to force a gay agenda on society. What I do believe is that they're all about that cream, which stands for cash rules everything around. And they want to build brand loyalty from all types of demographics. So black, white, straight, gay, young, old. So it's a wide range of people that are buying tickets and merch. So you'll have characters that fit into all these demographics that are part of your media. In other words, gay people are buying tickets to these movies too. Don't you think they want to see themselves included? Well, of course they do. So let's look at the most obvious characters that could be LBGT. Starting with Captain Marvel. The timeline of her first movie takes place in 1995, and she sports a haircut that looks like she could be a member of Friends. When she first meets the Avengers, it's supposed to be 2018. It's still long, but less curly. But in Endgame, when they fast forward to 2023, she's got this shortcut which set off everyone's gaydar. This look harkens back to 2012 when the character was upgraded from Miss Marvel to Captain Marvel by Kelly Sue DeConnick, who was the writer, who herself is an unabashed science fiction feminist. So her Endgame look is very comic accurate, but it had a lot of people thinking, yeah, that's pretty gay. Also, in her solo movie and in Endgame, they have not given her any love interest so far. As I always say, the comics and the movies are not the same universe. But in the comics, they have set a precedent that the character is heterosexual. She was in a relationship with Rhodey, aka War Machine. Will this relationship play out in the movies? I don't know. It would feel kind of creepy because Don Cheadle, who plays War Machine, is about 25 years older than Brie Larson in real life. Another candidate for an existing character is Valkyrie, played by Tessa Thompson. Tessa has already come out that she is bisexual in real life. She's been pretty open about her relationship with singer Janelle Monáe, who identifies as pansexual. In the comic source material, the character looked like this. She's an Asgardian warrior, famous for riding that winged horse. And in the comic sources, they never developed the character that much, so you're starting with a clean slate in terms of the movies. And in 2 movie appearances so far, in Thor Ragnarok and Endgame, they have not established a love interest for her either. And then this artwork of unknown origin came out, showing Captain Marvel and Valkyrie together. Tessa Thompson actually shared this image on social media. Brie Larson actually responded to it positively. So it just added fuel to the fire that both of these characters could be lesbian in MCU and they could be in a relationship together. That brings us to the Black Panther universe. In the miniseries World of Wakanda, we got a deeper look into the training of the Dora Milaje, Black Panther's all-female security force. And 2 members, Anika and Ayo, developed a lesbian relationship. The Anika character was not in the Black Panther movie, but Ayo was played by Florence Kasumba. Allegedly, there were some lesbian quips that were dropped in the cutting room floor in Black Panther. But will they explore this in future Black Panther movies? I expect for them to do so. Gay women in the Dora Milaje would be about as obvious as gay women in the WNBA to me. In debating this issue, there seemed to be some fear from some people that Marvel was somehow going to turn some characters that were heterosexual into homosexual. If there's no existing precedent, then that's just not going to happen. So yes, there is a precedent for stuff like Professor Hulk. That's directly from the comics, but there's no precedent to turn him gay. That's not going to happen. Now let's take a look at potentially new characters that could be LBGT. We know that Marvel is making a Eternals movie, and we know that Hercules is going to be in it, and it is he that is going to be the first openly gay superhero in the MCU. This character is so extra manly that he looks like a gay stereotype, like he could be in the Village People or something. Personally, I don't care what orientation they make this character, as long as they give us the Thor Hercules fight and recreate this classic Kirby cover. We also know that Angelina Jolie is being courted by Marvel to potentially play Cersei. She's an obscure character that first appeared in Strange Tales number 109 and also appeared in the Eternals series in the 70s. And it's rumored that this character could also be bisexual. But think about it, we're dealing with the Celestials and now the Eternals. They're literal gods. The idea of what's straight and gay or male or female may not necessarily apply to them. So if there's going to be an LBGT superhero in the MCU that would be outed in the next 1 to 2 years, then most likely it would be one of the Eternals. It may not just be one, but it could be multiple characters that are sexually fluid, so to speak. If you didn't notice, Marvel was beaten to the punch in LBGT representation with Deadpool 2. The character Negasonic Teenage Warhead returns, and this time she has outed herself as being a lesbian. She bluntly introduces her girlfriend, Yukio, the Japanese girl with the pinkish purple hair. Historically, this character had a connection to Wolverine, first appearing in the Wolverine miniseries in issue number 2 back in 1982. It was a Frank Miller creation. One version of this character appeared in the Wolverine movie from 2013, played by Ryla Fukushima. The 2018 version in Deadpool 2 is played by Shalio Katsuna. It's two different timelines. X-Men universe continuity never made any sense, so don't even try. So the version we just saw is a Japanese mutant lesbian. And there's some very cool looking fan art that shows them together. The theme of the X-Men is that minorities in society are always mistreated by the majority. So if you're black or immigrant or gay, then mutants are a stand-in for any oppressed group, especially gay people. Think about it. The character Fire Fist is given anti-mutant shock therapy treatments. This has a parallel in real life where some people went through anti-gay conversion treatment, basically a cruel junk science to try to un-gay people with electrical shock therapy. So based on those parallels, it only makes sense that the X-Men universe would have the first openly gay superheroes. Fox Studios, which owned all the rights to the X-Men universe, has been bought out by Disney, so therefore by default it's coming over to Marvel. And you can expect a full-scale reboot with new actors and new everything once Marvel decides to reboot it, except for Ryan Reynolds and the Deadpool universe, which will continue to exist in the Marvel timeline because it's working so well. But when Marvel does reboot the X-Men, expect to see multiple LBGT characters. The character North Star of Alpha Flight, basically the Canadian X-Men, was the first openly gay character in mainstream comics. And in Astonishing X-Men number 51 for 2012, he marries his boyfriend. In all new X-Men number 40 from 2015, Iceman gets outed by Jean Grey. She didn't even need her telepathy to figure that out. It was pretty obvious. And in the comics, but not in the movies, the Mystique character has been depicted as being bisexual. The director of most of the X-Men movies, Bryan Singer, is openly gay. Ellen Page, who played Kitty Pryde, is openly gay. Sir Ian McKellen, who plays Magneto, is openly gay. So if Marvel decides to not use LBGT representation in the upcoming Eternals movie, then expect to see a lot of these representations when they reboot the X-Men. As you can see, there's plenty of precedent for the X-Men universe for alternative lifestyle people. Mutants are people that are born different, and people that identify as LBGT also feel that way. If Marvel decides they don't want to use the Eternals or the X-Men to give us LBGT representation, then maybe the Thor universe is the answer with Angela of Heaven. This character was originally introduced in Spawn issue number 9 back in 1993 from Image. How she went from Image over to Marvel Comics is a story for another day. It's very complicated. She's now Angela of Asgard, the lone lost sister of Thor, and she has a lover named Sarah. It's not a stretch of imagination for her to appear in Thor Part 4, whenever that'll be. Then there's Moondragon, who's a lesbian in the comics. She's the daughter of Drax the Destroyer in the comics, so she could appear in Guardians Part 3. He mentioned in Guardians 1 that his whole family was killed, but it could turn out that she's still alive. And then there's Miss America, aka America Chavez. She may be the most high-profile Latin character in comics already, despite only being created in 2011. She's been described as queer. She's been a member of the Younger Avengers and the Ultimates, and she got exposed to a new audience by appearing in the Marvel Rising animated series. I definitely want to know what my viewers think about this subject, so please feel free to speak up in the comment section. You know the drill. Subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and share these videos on social media so others learn about the channel. And don't forget, I do sell comics at my eBay page listed here. One Stop Thrift and Comic Power are ran by the same guy. That would be me, Comic Killer 72. I am 100% feedback, by the way. Once again, thank you to all my subscribers and viewers who support Comic Power. Until next time, this is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye.